For mixed operations, that means that we're going to be using both addition and subtraction in the same problems. So for instance, in this first one, I can do the same way we've been doing with addition and subtraction. I'm going to take all of these numerators and put them over the same denominator. Now 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 minus 2 is 6. The denominator stays the same, and then the last step is I need to check, can this be simplified? And yes, this one can. Now your turn. So we begin by putting all of the numerators on top of the denominator. Now 2 plus 7 is 9, and 9 minus 3 is 6. So my answer is 6/9, but I need to check, can that be reduced? And yes, that can be reduced to 2/3. Now in this example we have mixed numbers, so I need to begin by adding all of the mixed numbers together, or subtracting. And in this brackets, it's going to be 1/8. There's no fractional part for the middle part, so I just need to subtract 3/8 on the last part. All right, now I just realized though, now I have a problem. I cannot subtract 3/8 from 1/8. That means that I should have borrowed from the 4. So I actually need to redo this. So what I need to do is I need to start out by borrowing one of the numbers from the 4 and rewriting it like this. Now if I write the problem, I again put my brackets. This time though, I've got 9/8 minus 3/8. Now 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5. 9/8 minus 3/8 is going to be 6/8, which can be reduced to 3/4. So my final answer is going to be 5 3/4. And of course, I should have just erased this initial attempt. Once I realized that it was a mistake, I should have erased it and gone straight to this next attempt. Now your turn. Okay, so we cannot subtract 5/6 from 1/6, so we need to begin by borrowing one number from the 2. So this is going to become 1 7/6. Then just rewrite the rest of the problem. And the next line, I would write my brackets, add my 1 plus 7 minus 3 plus bracket. I've got 7/6 minus 5/6. Okay, 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2, so I have 2/6. And 2/6 can be reduced down to 1/3. In this next problem, we would need to subtract 9/13 from 5/13, so we can't do that. So once again, I'm going to need to borrow from the number. So I borrow 1 from the 5. That's going to become 18/13 minus 2 9/13. Everything else just stays the same. Okay, now I put everything in the brackets. 4 minus 2 plus 4 plus bracket 18 minus 9 plus 8, all of that over 13. And when I finish calculating that, I get 6 plus 17/13, which can be reduced down to 7 4/13. Now for your turn, what if we take that same problem, but instead of borrowing from the 5, what if instead we take these two terms and we swap them around? After swapping the terms, would you still need to borrow from the 5 to solve this problem? The answer is no, because now we can add the 5 and the 8 together first, which gives us 13, and then you can subtract the 9 from the 13, and in the end, we get the same answer as before. So either way will work, but sometimes you should think about whether it would make the problem easier by swapping two terms. So probably the most challenging part of these problems is taking a word problem and figuring out whether it's supposed to be a plus or a minus between the numbers. So we'll take a look at one example of this. So it says that each roll of ribbon is 8 3/4 meters long. Miss Chan had 2 rolls of ribbons, and After decorating the classroom, 2 1/4 meters of ribbons was left. How many meters of ribbon were used? So how can we set up this problem? So I begin by asking myself the question, how many meters of ribbon did she have at the beginning? So she had 2 ribbons, and each of them were 8 3/4 meters. So how much did she have in total? When I add them up, I find that she had 17.5 meters to begin with. And the problem says she has just 2 1/4 meters left of ribbon at the end, so about this much, which means that she used up all of the rest of that. So how much did she use? This is how I set up the problem. She used the total amount minus the amount that was left. So what would be my final answer for this? In total, 15 1/4 meters of ribbon were used. And when writing your answer, don't forget to include the units and the words from the question.